Captain Jake Morrison stood on the bridge of the USS Endeavour, watching the stars through the main screen. His ship had been traveling through deep space for 6 months now, looking for new worlds and life forms. The crew of 200 people worked hard every day, hoping to make history. Dr. Lisa Parker hurried onto the bridge, holding her tablet tight. She was the chief science officer and had been studying strange energy readings for the past week. Her face looked worried as she approached the captain. "Captain, those signals are getting stronger," she said, pointing at her screen. "Something big is out there, and it's not natural." Jake looked at the data, and numbers showed energy patterns, unlike anything humans had ever seen. The signals came from a star system 3 hours away at their current speed. "Could it be another ship?" Jake asked. "Maybe, but if it is, it's much more advanced than ours," Lisa replied. She had been a scientist for 15 years and had never seen anything like this. Jake made his decision. "Set course for those signals. All crew to battle stations just in case." The Endeavour turned toward the unknown signals. As they got closer, the ship's sensors picked up something amazing. 5 large ships floated in space near a small planet. The ships looked like they were made of crystal and metal, shining with their own light. "My God," whispered Lisa, "they're beautiful." The alien ships were 3 times bigger than the Endeavour. Their smooth surfaces reflected the light from the nearby star, creating rainbow colors across their hulls. Strange symbols glowed along their sides. "Try to contact them," Jake ordered his communications officer, before they could send a message. The alien ships moved. They turned toward the Endeavour with fluid grace, like dancers in space. Then something appeared on the main screen that made everyone gasp. The alien ships were firing weapons at them. Bright beams of purple light shot across space toward the human ship. Jake shouted orders as his crew scrambled to defend themselves. The Endeavour shields activated just as the first alien beam hit them. The ship shook hard. Lights flickered on the bridge. Sparks flew from damaged control panels. The aliens had weapons far more powerful than anything humans possessed. "Return fire," Jake yelled. The Endeavour's missiles and laser cannons shot back at the alien ships, but their weapons barely scratched the crystal hulls. The aliens kept attacking, their purple beams hitting the human ship again and again. "Shields at 60%, called out Tony Rodriguez from his engineering station. He was a young man from Texas who had joined the crew only 2 years ago. Alien beams struck the ship. The Endeavour groaned under the assault. Jake realized they could not win this fight. The aliens were too strong, too advanced. "We need to retreat," he said, but before he could give the order, alarms started blaring throughout the ship. "Hull breach on deck 7, someone shouted. "They're boarding us." Jake's heart sank. Somehow, the aliens had gotten inside his ship. He grabbed his weapon and turned to his security chief, Katie Sullivan. She was a tough Marine from California who had fought in many battles. "Katie, take your team and stop those boarders," he ordered. Katie nodded and ran off the bridge with 10 other Marines. They moved through the ship's corridors, heading toward Deck 7, where the aliens had broken in. When they reached the damaged section, they saw them. The aliens were tall, about 7 feet high, with blue-gray skin and large black eyes. They wore armor that looked like it was made from the same crystal as their ships. In their hands, they carried weapons that glowed with purple energy. "Open fire," Katie shouted. The Marines shot at the aliens with their rifles, but the alien armor protected them well. The aliens fired back with their strange weapons, sending purple beams down the corridor. During the fight, Tony Rodriguez had followed the Marines to help with repairs. As the battle raged around him, he worked to fix the damaged hull. An alien beam hit him in the shoulder, spinning him around. He fell to the floor, bleeding heavily. The alien who shot him walked closer, raising his weapon to finish Tony off. But then something strange happened. The alien's weapon started making weird noises. Lights on it flickered and went out. The weapon stopped working completely. The alien looked confused. He shook his weapon and pressed buttons on it, but nothing happened. Tony lay on the floor, his blood pooling around him. Not understanding what was going on, Katie saw what happened. She shot the confused alien while his weapon was broken. But she also noticed something odd. Other alien weapons near Tony were starting to malfunction too. They made strange sounds, and their lights went dim. The fight continued for several more minutes. During the battle, Katie got hit by an alien beam in her leg. She fell near a group of aliens, her blood spreading on the metal floor. Within seconds, the alien weapons around her began to fail, just like they had near Tony. Dr. Lisa Parker arrived with a medical team to help the wounded. She saw the broken alien weapons scattered around Tony and Katie. Her scientific mind started working, trying to understand what she was seeing. "That's impossible," she whispered, picking up one of the dead alien weapons. The aliens, confused by their failing equipment, decided to retreat to their ships. They had not expected their advanced weapons to stop working. Within minutes, they were gone, leaving the damaged Endeavour floating in space. Jake ordered the ship to move away from the alien vessels as fast as possible. As they escaped, Lisa studied the broken alien weapons and thought about what she had witnessed. She had a feeling that this was just the beginning of something much bigger. The Endeavour limped away into deep space, carrying with it a mystery that would change the course of human history. Behind them, the alien ships watched and waited, planning their next move. 3 days had passed since the alien attack. The USS Endeavour was still traveling through space, heading back toward human territory. The ship's repair crews worked day and night to fix the damage from the battle. Dr. Lisa Parker had not slept much during those 3 days. She spent most of her time in the science lab, studying the broken alien weapons. Every time she looked at them, she remembered how they had stopped working near Tony and Katie when they were bleeding. Dr. Ben Carter, the ship's medical officer, walked into the lab carrying 2 cups of coffee. He was a kind man from Ohio who had been treating the wounded crew members. "You need to rest, Lisa," he said, handing her a cup. "You've been working for 18 hours straight." Lisa took the coffee, but did not stop looking at her computer screen. "Ben, I think I know why those weapons failed, but it sounds crazy." Ben sat down next to her. "After what we saw 3 days ago, nothing sounds crazy anymore. Tell me your theory." Lisa turned her screen toward him. It showed data about human blood and the alien weapons. "I tested samples of Tony's and Katie's blood against pieces of the broken weapons. Something in our blood made their technology stop working." Ben looked at the data carefully. He was not a scientist like Lisa, but he understood medical things. "Very well. What exactly in the blood caused this?" "I think it has something to do with our iron," Lisa said, pointing at the screen. "Human blood contains iron in our red blood cells. But it's not just regular iron. There's something special about it." She pulled up another screen that showed strange wave patterns. "I found these quantum signatures in the blood samples. They're like invisible codes that our iron carries around." Ben scratched his head. "Quantum signatures? How did human blood get those?" Lisa stood up and walked to the window, looking out at the stars. "I have a theory about that too. Earth has a special magnetic field, right? And our sun sends out radiation that interacts with that field. I think over millions of years, this created a unique quantum pattern. And this pattern got into our DNA somehow?" Ben asked. "Exactly. When humans evolved on Earth, this quantum field was all around us. It got written into our genetic code, and now every human carries it in there. Blood Ben was quiet for a moment, thinking about what Lisa had told him. If this is true, then every human is like a walking weapon against these aliens. Before Lisa could answer, alarms started ringing throughout the ship. Captain Jake Morrison's voice came over the speakers. All crew to emergency stations. We're receiving distress signals from human colonies. Lisa and Ben hurried to the bridge. When they arrived, they found Jake and his officers watching the main screen with worried faces. The screen showed messages from different human worlds. What's happening? Lisa asked. Jake turned to her with a grim expression. The aliens are attacking our colonies. They're not just exploring anymore. This is an invasion. The first message was from New Austin, a farming colony with 50,000 people. The voice of the colony leader sounded panicked. This is New Austin calling for help. Alien ships are in our system. They're destroying our defense stations. We need help immediately. The second message came from Terra Verde, a mining world. Terra Verde is under attack. The aliens have ships we've never seen before. Our weapons can't hurt them. Please send help. More messages kept coming. Each one told the same story. Alien fleets were attacking human worlds across 3 star systems. The aliens had bigger ships now, and they were winning every battle. Jake clenched his fists. We have to go back to Earth and warn them. If the aliens are invading, Earth Defense Command needs to know about what you discovered, Lisa. How long? To reach Earth? Ben asked. 6 days at maximum speed, Jake replied. But we might not make it in time to help those colonies. As the Endeavour changed course toward Earth, they received one more message. This one was different. It came from a civilian transport ship called the Lucky Star. This is Captain Amy Chun. Of the Lucky Star, we're carrying refugees from New Austin. The colony has fallen. Repeat, New Austin has fallen. We're heading toward Earth with survivors. Jake immediately contacted the Lucky Star. On the screen appeared a woman in her 30s, with short black hair and tired eyes. Behind her, Jake could see crowds of people looking scared and worried. Captain Chun, this is Captain Morrison of the USS Endeavour. We're also heading to Earth. What can you tell us about the alien attack? Amy Chun looked relieved to see another human ship. Captain Morrison, it was terrible. The aliens had hundreds of ships. Their weapons went right through our shields like they were nothing. The colony's defense fleet was destroyed in less than an hour. Did you see anything unusual during the fighting? Lisa asked, stepping forward. Any alien weapons that stopped working? Amy looked confused by the question. Actually, yes. Some of our people fought back with whatever they could find. I saw alien soldiers whose weapons just died for no reason. But there were too many aliens. It didn't matter. Lisa and Ben looked at each other. Lisa's theory was becoming more real with every piece of evidence. Jake made a decision. Captain Chun, stay close to us. We'll escort you to Earth together. For the next 6 days, the 2 ships traveled through space together. Lisa spent her time talking to the refugees, asking them about their experiences during the attack. Many of them had stories about alien weapons failing when humans were nearby. One refugee, a farmer named Luis Gonzalez, told Lisa about hiding in a barn when alien soldiers found him. I cut my hand on some broken glass, he said. When the aliens came close to me, their guns just stopped working. I thought it was a miracle. Another refugee, a teacher named Mary Johnson, had a similar story. She had been protecting children when aliens found them. During the fight, she was wounded, and the alien weapons around her started breaking down. Each story made Lisa more certain about her discovery. Human blood really did have the power to stop alien technology. But she also realized something else. The aliens were learning too. They were getting better at fighting humans, even with their weapons failing sometimes. As Earth came into view, Lisa knew that the real war was just beginning. Somewhere out there, the alien fleet was preparing for their next attack, and Earth would be their main target. The USS Endeavour finally reached Earth after 6 long days of travel. Jake Morrison looked at his home planet through the bridge window and felt both relief and worry. Earth looked peaceful from space, but he knew that would change soon. The ship landed at the main military base in Colorado. Within an hour, Dr. Lisa Parker found herself standing in a large meeting room filled with important people. General Pete Williams sat at the head of a long table, surrounded by other military leaders and scientists. General Williams was a big man with gray hair and serious eyes. He had been protecting Earth for 20 years and had never faced anything like this before. "Dr. Parker," he said, "Captain Morrison tells me you have discovered something important about these aliens. Something about human blood?" Lisa felt nervous speaking to so many important people, but she knew this was the most important presentation of her life. She activated the large screen in the room and began to explain. "General, our blood contains something special. When human blood comes near alien weapons, it makes them stop working. I believe this happens because of quantum patterns in our iron." One of the other generals, a woman named Carol Stone, raised her hand. "Doctor, that sounds like science fiction. How can blood stop advanced weapons?" Lisa showed them video recordings from the alien attack on the Endeavour. The footage clearly showed alien weapons failing when Tony and Katie were bleeding nearby. "I have tested this theory many times," Lisa continued. "Every test gave the same result. Human blood disrupts the crystal technology that powers alien weapons. Dr. Ben Carter stood up to support Lisa. "I have examined the refugees from New Austin and Terra Verde. Many of them reported the same thing happening during the alien attacks." "General." Williams leaned forward in his chair. "If this is true, then we need to test it properly. Do we have any captured alien weapons?" "Yes, sir," replied Colonel Nick Davis, a military engineer. "We recovered some broken weapons from the Endeavour. We also have pieces of alien equipment that fell from their ships during other battles." The general made his decision quickly. "Set up a testing facility immediately. I want to see this effect with my own eyes." 2 hours later, everyone gathered in a secure underground laboratory. The room contained several alien weapons that had been partially repaired. Dr. Helen Moore, a quantum physics expert, helped set up the equipment to measure what happened. Lisa took a small sample of her own blood and placed it in a tube. She walked slowly toward one of the alien weapons while everyone watched. The weapon was glowing with purple light and making a soft humming sound. As Lisa got closer with the blood sample, the weapon began to change. The purple light started flickering. The humming sound became irregular. When she placed the blood sample directly on the weapon, it completely stopped working. The room was silent for several seconds. Then General Williams spoke. "My God, it actually works." They tested the effect again and again with different blood samples and different alien weapons. Every time, the result was the same. Human blood somehow made alien technology fail. Dr. Helen Moore studied the quantum readings from her instruments. "The blood is creating some kind of interference field. It's like the iron in our blood is singing a song that the alien crystals can't handle." Colonel Davis immediately began thinking about military applications. "Can we make weapons from this? Can we use it to protect our ships?" Lisa had been working on that question during the trip to Earth. "I think we can extract and concentrate the quantum signature from blood. We could create devices that broadcast the same interference pattern." "How much blood would we need?" asked General Williams. "A lot," Lisa admitted. "The effect works best with fresh blood, and we would need thousands of liters to protect even one ship." General Stone looked worried. "We can't ask people to give that much blood. It would kill them. We don't need to take it all from one person, Dr. Carter explained. If millions of people each gave a little blood, we could collect enough to build weapons and defenses. As they discussed the possibilities, alarms began ringing throughout the base. A young officer ran into the room with an urgent message. General Williams, sir. Our long-range sensors have detected a massive alien fleet entering the solar system. They're heading straight for Earth. Everyone in the room felt their hearts sink. The alien invasion fleet had arrived, and Earth was not ready. General Williams turned to Lisa and her team. How long do you need to build these blood-based weapons? Lisa looked at Colonel Davis and Dr. Moore. They had been working together for only a few hours, but they all understood the urgency. With the right resources and enough volunteers to donate blood, we could have basic systems ready in 3 days, Colonel Davis said. The aliens will be here in 4 days, the young officer reported. General Williams stood up and addressed everyone in the room. Then we have 4 days to save our planet. Colonel Davis, start building whatever weapons you can. Dr. Parker, figure out how to collect blood from volunteers across the planet. General Stone, prepare the fleet for battle. He paused and looked around the room. And may God help us all. Within hours, the news spread across Earth, television stations and internet. Sites carried the message to every human on the planet. The government explained the situation honestly. Aliens were coming to invade Earth, but humans had discovered a way to fight back using their own blood. The response was amazing. People lined up at blood donation centers in every city. Factory. Worker Luis Gonzalez drove 4 hours to donate blood at the nearest center. Teacher Mary Johnson organized a blood drive at her school. Retired veteran Frank Miller came out of his house for the first time in months to help save his planet. Meanwhile, Captain Jake Morrison prepared the Endeavour to serve as a test platform for the new blood-based weapons. His ship would be the first to carry the experimental technology into Battle Dot as Earth scientists and engineers worked day and night to build humanity's new defenses. The alien fleet continued its approach. In the cold depths of space, Admiral Krelthon planned his attack on the human homeworld, unaware that his enemies had discovered the key to defeating his most powerful weapons. The alien fleet arrived at the edge of Earth's solar system exactly when the sensors predicted. Admiral Krelthon commanded over 200 warships, each one larger and more powerful than any human vessel. His flagship, a massive crystal ship, called the Star Destroyer, led the invasion force toward the inner planets. On Earth, the final preparations were complete. Dr. Lisa Parker stood in the main control room, watching screens that showed the blood collection numbers from around the world. Humans had donated more blood in 3 days than had ever been collected in history. We have enough quantum-enhanced blood for 50 ships, reported Colonel Nick Davis. The weapons are crude, but they should work. General Pete Williams looked tired but determined. He had not slept for 2 days while coordinating Earth's defense. It will have to be enough. Our fleet is moving to intercept the aliens near Mars. Captain Jake Morrison was already in space aboard the USS Endeavour, now equipped with the first blood-based weapons ever built. The devices looked strange, like regular cannons connected to tanks of red liquid. The quantum signature from the blood would be fired at enemy ships as an invisible wave. Admiral Carol Stone commanded the human defense fleet from her flagship, the USS Liberty. She had 49 other ships with her, including destroyers, cruisers, and fighters. Against the alien armada, it seemed like a very small force. All ships, this is Admiral Stone, she said over the radio. Today we fight not just for Earth, but for the future of humanity. Remember, our new weapons are untested in real battle. Stay close to ships with the blood weapons and trust in the science. The two fleets met in space near Mars. The Red Planet watched silently as the most important battle in human history was about to begin. Admiral Krelthon studied the human ships through his command screen. They looked primitive compared to his. Crystal vessels, but he remembered the weapon failures during the first encounter. He had ordered his ships to keep their distance and use long-range attacks. Fire all weapons, Krelthon commanded. Purple beams of energy shot across space from the alien ships. The human fleet scattered, trying to avoid the deadly blasts. Several human ships were hit immediately, their shields failing under the powerful alien weapons. Captain Morrison aimed his new blood weapon at the nearest alien ship. Fire quantum disruptor, he ordered. Invisible wave shot from the Endeavor toward the alien vessel. At first, nothing seemed to happen. Then the alien ships. Weapons began to flicker and die. The purple beams stopped firing, and the ship's lights went dim. "It's working," Morrison shouted over the radio. "The blood weapons are working." Other human ships with the new weapons began firing. One by one, alien vessels found their systems failing as the quantum waves hit them. But the aliens had learned from their previous encounters. Commander Vexstar, leading a group of smaller alien ships, had developed new tactics. "Deploy the crystal shields," he ordered. "Protect the main ships from the human interference." Strange barriers of energy appeared around some of the alien vessels. The blood weapons still affected them, but not as strongly as before. The aliens could still fight, even with reduced power. The battle became fierce and desperate. Human ships darted between the larger alien vessels, trying to get close enough for their blood weapons to work properly. The aliens used their superior firepower to destroy human ships before they could get near. Captain Steve Turner commanded the destroyer USS Phoenix. He led his ship directly at an alien cruiser, firing his blood weapon at point-blank range. The alien ship's weapons failed completely, but other alien vessels targeted the Phoenix. Steve's ship exploded in a ball of fire, taking 50 crew members with it. Commander Lisa Brown piloted the fighter squadron, Blue Wing. Her 12 ships attacked alien vessels that were trying to break through toward Earth. Even though her fighters had no blood weapons, they distracted the aliens while larger ships moved into position. Lisa's wing was destroyed when alien beams caught them in open space, but their sacrifice allowed 3 human cruisers to disable a major alien warship. Dr. Lisa Parker watched the battle from Earth's command center, studying the data from each engagement. She saw that the blood weapons worked, but they were not perfect. The aliens were adapting quickly to the new threat. "We need more power," she told Colonel Davis. "The quantum signature is too weak at long range." Davis looked at the battle reports. "We're losing ships faster than we're disabling theirs. Even with the blood weapons, they're still stronger than us." Admiral Stone's voice came over the radio. "From the Liberty, all ships fall back to defensive positions around Earth. We cannot win this battle in open space." The surviving human ships retreated toward Earth. They had managed to disable or destroy about 30 alien vessels, but over half the human fleet was gone. Captain Morrison's Endeavor was damaged but still fighting. Admiral Stone's Liberty had lost its engines and was drifting helplessly as the alien fleet followed the humans toward Earth. Admiral Krelthon felt confident about victory. The humans had strange weapons that could interfere with his technology, but they were still too weak to stop his invasion. However, Dr. Lisa Parker was not giving up. As the alien ships approached Earth, she was working on one final plan, something that would use not just the blood they had collected, but the entire planet itself. "General Williams," she said, turning to the military leader, "I have an idea, but it will require every person on Earth to help." The general looked at the approaching alien fleet on his screens. They would reach Earth orbit in 6 hours. "Tell me your plan, Doctor," he said. "At this point, I'm willing to try anything." Lisa pulled up a new display showing Earth's magnetic field. "We don't just fight with the blood we collected. We fight with the blood of every human alive." Outside Earth's atmosphere, the alien fleet prepared for the final assault. But on the planet below, 6 billion humans were about to become part of the largest weapon ever created. The alien fleet surrounded Earth like a dark cloud. Admiral Krelthan's massive ships moved into attack position, their crystal hulls reflecting the light from the sun. The human defense fleet was scattered and broken, with only a few ships still able to fight. Captain Jake Morrison floated in space aboard the damaged USS Endeavour. Half of his crew was injured, and his ship could barely move. But he was not giving up. Admiral Carol Stone's ship was completely disabled, so Jake had taken command of what remained of the human fleet. On Earth below, Dr. Lisa Parker worked frantically in the command center. Her plan was desperate, but it was humanity's last hope. She had discovered that Earth's magnetic field could amplify the quantum signature in human blood, but she needed help from every person on the planet. "General Williams," she said, "we need to set up transmitters in every major city. The magnetic field will carry the quantum signal from human blood around the entire world." General Williams looked confused. "But we already used all the blood we collected for the space battle." Lisa shook her head. "We don't need collected blood. We need living people. Every human on Earth has the quantum signature in their blood. Right now, if we can amplify it through the planet's magnetic field, we can create a barrier that will disable every alien ship in orbit." Dr. Ben Carter understood what Lisa was suggesting. "You want to turn every human into a living transmitter." "Will it hurt them?" "No," Lisa replied. "The quantum field will be very weak for each person. But with 6 billion people all connected through the magnetic field, it will be incredibly powerful." Colonel Nick Davis was already working on the technical details. "We can modify our blood weapon transmitters to connect with the magnetic field. But we need people to stand near the transmitters in every city." General Williams made the decision quickly. The alien ships were preparing for their final attack. "Send the message to every government on Earth. Tell everyone what they need to do." Within minutes, television and radio stations around the world carried the same message. Every human needed to go to their nearest city center and stand near special transmitters. Their blood would help create a worldwide defense system. The response was immediate and amazing. In New York, millions of people walked out of their buildings and gathered in Times Square. In London, crowds filled Trafalgar Square. In Tokyo, people filled the streets around the Imperial Palace. Similar scenes happened in every major city. On Earth, Bobby Martinez was 12 years old and lived in Los Angeles with his family. When he heard the message, he ran to the city center with his parents and thousands of other people. Emma Davis, a 10-year-old girl from Chicago, held her mother's hand as they joined the crowd in Grant Park. Dr. Helen Moore monitored the quantum readings from the command center. "The field is building," she reported. "I can see the quantum signatures combining across the planet." In space above, Admiral Krelthan was growing impatient. His sensors showed strange energy patterns coming from the planet below, but he did not understand what they meant. "Begin the final attack," he ordered. "Destroy their cities and end this war." The alien ships powered up their weapons and aimed at Earth's major population centers. Purple beams began charging in hundreds of crystal cannons. "Now," Lisa shouted into her microphone, "activate all transmitters." Around the world, the modified transmitters turned on. They connected with Earth's magnetic field and amplified the quantum signature from every human on the planet. The invisible field spread outward from Earth like a giant bubble. The effect was immediate and spectacular. Every alien ship in orbit suddenly lost power. Their weapons stopped charging. Their engines went silent. The lights on their crystal hulls flickered and died. In seconds, the entire alien fleet became helpless. Admiral Krelfin stared in shock as his flagship went dark around him. Emergency power kept life support working, but everything else had failed. The same thing was happening to every ship in. His fleet, what is happening? He demanded, but his crew had no answers. On Earth, people cheered as they watched the alien ships go dark in the sky above. The plan had worked. Humanity had won. Captain Morrison used his damaged ship to contact the disabled alien flagship. When Admiral Krelfin appeared on the screen, he looked confused and defeated. "Your fleet is disabled," Morrison said. "Surrender now, and we will not destroy you." But before Krelfin could answer, something unexpected happened. A group of alien scientists on his ship asked to speak with the humans. Their leader was named Zalmer, and he had been studying human blood samples from the earlier battles. "Humans," Zalmer said through the communication system, "we have discovered something important about your blood. The quantum signature it contains is not natural evolution." Dr. Lisa Parker joined the conversation from Earth. "What do you mean?" Zalmer showed them data on his instruments. "The pattern in your blood is artificial. It was created by another species long ago. We recognize the technology because our ancestors once fought against the same enemy." Lisa felt her heart racing. What enemy? "An ancient race that conquered many worlds millions of years ago," Zalmer explained. "Before they died out, they created a failsafe. They encoded a shutdown signal into the quantum field of certain planets. Any species that evolved on those worlds would carry the code in their blood. The revelation was stunning. Humans had not developed this ability naturally. An ancient civilization had given it to them as protection against aggressive species like the Zephyrians. The code in your blood turns off any technology based on crystal matrix principles," Zalmer continued. "Most spacefaring civilizations use similar technology. You are protected against almost any aggressive species in the galaxy." Admiral Krelfin finally spoke. "If this is true, then our war was doomed from the beginning. We cannot fight against the ancient code." In the days that followed, the Zephyrians and humans began working together. Commander Vextar, who had led many of the attacks, became an ambassador for peace. The aliens shared their advanced technology with humans in exchange for protection under the ancient code. Dr. Lisa Parker established a new research institute to study the quantum signatures and learn more about the ancient civilization. Captain Morrison was promoted to admiral and given command of humanity's first interstellar diplomatic fleet, the children who had helped save Earth, like Bobby Martinez and Emma Davis, grew up in a new age where humans traveled to other worlds and made friends with alien species. They learned that sometimes the greatest strength comes not from weapons or technology, but from the blood that flows through every human heart. Earth became known throughout the galaxy as the protected world, and humanity took its place among the stars, carrying the gift of the ancients in their veins.